Imagine it's the first of the month in 2026. You wake up, make coffee, and before the day even properly begins, you check your phone. Not social media, not the news, your bank app, because today is auto pay day. Rent clears, car payment clears, insurance clears, student loans clear, subscriptions renew quietly in the background. You watch the balance drop in real time. Nothing unusual, nothing irresponsible, just the cost of maintaining a normal life. And yet, as the numbers settle, there's that familiar tightness in your chest. You make decent money, you work hard, you're not reckless, so why does it feel like the month starts at zero every single time? That quiet tension is the new American budget crisis. It doesn't look like panic, it looks like professionalism. It looks like people earning solid incomes but feeling permanently allocated. The crisis isn't dramatic, it's structural. For decades, the American budget had breathing room built into it. Housing costs were heavy but manageable relative to income. Healthcare was expensive but less complex. Education was an investment that didn't follow you for decades. A single income could stretch across a household. In 2026, that balance feels inverted. Housing absorbs a disproportionate share of income in most major cities. Rent climbs faster than raises. Mortgage rates fluctuate in ways that make long-term planning feel risky. Groceries creep upward in small increments that add up over time. Insurance premiums adjust annually like a quiet tax. None of these alone collapse a household, but together they shrink margin, and margin is everything. Psychologically, margin is what makes people feel stable. It's the difference between surviving and expanding. When there's room left after necessities, people invest, they take risks, they think long term. When there isn't, they focus on maintenance. The new budget crisis isn't that Americans can't pay their bills, it's that paying their bills consumes nearly all of their financial energy. Energy that once fueled upward mobility now fuels continuity. There's also a behavioral shift happening beneath the spreadsheets. Modern spending is frictionless. Subscriptions auto-renew. Food arrives with a tap. Financing is instant. The budget doesn't break in one catastrophic decision, it erodes in convenience. Small comforts accumulate into fixed obligations. Over time, these obligations become non-negotiable parts of identity. The streaming platforms, the upgraded phone plan, the gym membership, the car lease, they don't feel like luxuries, they feel like modern participation. Cutting them feels like stepping backwards socially. So budgets tighten not because people are reckless, but because expectations have risen. Social comparison amplifies this. In a hyper-visible culture, normal life looks elevated. Vacations seem routine. Renovations look standard. Lifestyle upgrades appear constant. Even disciplined people absorb these signals subconsciously. The baseline for doing okay rises quietly, and when baseline rises faster than income, the squeeze begins. Add to that the instability of modern employment. Careers feel less linear, layoffs trend weekly, entire industries pivot rapidly due to automation and technological shifts. Income feels less permanent, and when income feels conditional, people hold tighter. They delay investing aggressively, they hesitate to take career risks, they stay in roles longer than they want because the budget leaves little room for uncertainty. The new crisis isn't lack of income alone, it's lack of resilience. Previous generations often built wealth slowly because their costs grew slower than their earnings. Today, costs often grow at or above earnings, especially in urban centers. So even when salaries increase, lifestyle inflation and structural expenses absorb the gain. The result is a nation of earners who feel financially busy but not financially free. They are maintaining, not building. There's also a deeper philosophical shift. The American dream was once about expansion, bigger homes, higher salaries, greater comfort. But expansion without margin becomes fragile. When every dollar is spoken for, the system works only as long as nothing breaks. One medical issue, one job loss, one unexpected repair. Suddenly, the budget reveals how thin it really is. That fragility changes behavior. People become cautious. Short-term thinking replaces long-term strategy. Financial conversations become tense instead of hopeful. The crisis isn't visible on the surface because stores are still full and restaurants are still busy, but beneath that activity is a quiet recalibration. People feel less secure even when they earn more. The middle ground between struggle and wealth has narrowed. The dividing line now isn't income alone, but ownership. Those who own appreciating assets experience inflation differently than those who rely purely on wages. Assets rise with the tide, wages chase it, and when budgets depend entirely on wages, rising costs feel like a race you're always slightly behind in. The powerful realization is this: the new American budget crisis isn't about individual failure, it's about structural compression. The gap between income growth and cost growth has narrowed for millions, and when that gap narrows, psychological freedom shrinks with it. But here's the perspective shift that matters. The solution isn't simply earning more, because if costs scale with income, the tension remains. The real shift is redesigning the relationship between lifestyle and earnings, rebuilding margin intentionally, prioritizing ownership over appearance, lowering fixed costs where possible to restore flexibility. Because in 2026, wealth isn't defined by how impressive your paycheck looks, it's defined by how much of it remains untouched after life takes its share. The new American budget crisis isn't loud, it's quiet. It's the silent stress of autopay. And once you see that the crisis is really about margin, not money alone, you stop chasing numbers for comfort and start building space for stability.